Are you thinking in learning how to code? I think that there is something that you need to know first. This is the first video in a two-part series in which I'm going to cover the importance of having a good idea of why you want to learn how to code, how passion is overrated, why having a growth mindset is important, why you shouldn't rely on motivation, and how to focus on systems instead of goals. You should consider subscribing so you will get a notification when I publish the second part of this video series. You will also be able to find the second part of the video in the playlist I have set up in the channel. When starting the journey of learning how to program, one tends to focus on the books to read, courses to take, languages to learn, but I think the most important thing is to develop an attitude and mindset that will allow us to face the challenge of learning how to program in the best way possible. Let's start by having an idea of why you want to learn how to code. Knowing our why will help us to keep going when motivation lacks or things get difficult. Ideally, your why should be internally focused. Don't start studying programming because you just want to earn more money or some other external reason. Programming is very hard, and doing it just for the money may not be powerful enough to get you to stick with it. Instead, try to find internal reasons of why you want to learn how to program. For example, you can learn how to program because you want to grow personally and professionally, or you want to choose better quality problems and choose a struggle to enjoy. You also may want to build mastery in something or to be an inspiration for others, such as family, friends, or just strangers. Having a clear why will give meaning to the effort that we're going to invest in our learning journey. If you want to know more about this topic, I will recommend you to read the book Man's Search for Meaning. I actually have my why printed and hang over my monitor. I use it as a tool to lift my mood and motivation when I don't feel like studying or when I'm just really stuck in a programming problem or a difficult to solve bug. It reminds me of what I have chosen to do and the reasons behind that choice. Something that's very helpful as a reminder that I need to keep going in spite of feeling uncomfortable. By deciding to become a programmer, I'm choosing to have better quality problems because problems are going to be present wherever we do. One thing is to have someone impose problems on you, and another different thing is choosing your own problems. If you want to know more about this topic, I would recommend you to read the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Let's now talk about passion. Passion is not something you find or something you discover. Passion is something that you build every day. You can choose an activity that sparks an interest in you, but that interest will evolve into passion with time. It's because of this that we shouldn't pay too much attention in passion when we first start in this programming journey. We just should give it time to build up. Having a growth mindset is also very important. The growth mindset is a concept developed by the psychologist Carol Dweck. You can read more about this in her book called Mindset. The way in which we see ourselves deeply affects how we manage in life. If we perceive ourselves as someone that is not intelligent or incapable of learning programming, we will start our learning journey on the wrong foot. On the other hand, if we understand that intelligence is something that you can develop over time, as well as most of our skills, we are going to be better prepared mentally to begin studying programming. The growth mindset is based on the idea that our qualities can be improved and developed through effort. I will leave in the description of this video a link to an article that talks more about this topic. Let's now move to motivation. According to Steven Pressfield, motivation is the push that we feel when the pain of not doing something is worse than the pain of doing it. For example, the pain of being in a job you hate is greater than the pain you feel when you must sit to study programming to change your career. Now, there are two types of motivation: external motivation and internal motivation. The external motivation is outside our control. Examples of these are study programming to get a good salary in the future, solve a bug to receive praise from others, and prove someone's code is wrong so others can see us as intelligent coders. In contrast, internal motivation is under our control, within ourselves. For example, we can study programming to get good at it and to gain mastery, solve a bug because because we just love our craft, our code, or solve someone else's code because we care about delivering a good product. We should focus on internal motivation because that's the only one we can control. Now, motivation is the result of an action, not the cause of it. This means that motivation will come after we started doing something and not before. If you want to know more about this topic, I can recommend you to read the book Atomic Habits. So, the key to keep us motivated is to make the thing we need to do as easy to start as possible. We can arrange our calendar with the times and places to study programming, so our decision-making process can be automated. We can follow the same ritual or habit each time we sit to study programming, thus conditioning our study activity. For example, we can choose the same place in the house at the same time in the day with the same music playlist each time we sit to study. I will leave in the comments an article that discusses this in further detail. Let's now talk about systems over goals. It is important to have a clear goal and objective, but it's also important not to focus too much on it. What we should do instead is to focus on the system we are going to use in order to achieve that goal, because those who achieve their goals and those who don't ultimately have the same goal. So having a goal by itself is not guaranteed that we are going to get it. Many people want to become programmers, but not all of them end up achieving that. Focusing on our systems will help to achieve our goals by providing discipline, reminding us why we are doing what we are doing and avoiding procrastination. For example, our system could look like this. Wake up early, take a shower so we can be more awake, make our breakfast, sit in front of the computer with our breakfast, open the programming book or the course we are following, and start studying whilst we are having our breakfast, and to do this for at least 1 hour. What we are doing here is stacking habits, and you can read more about this in the book Atomic Habits that I recommended before. By focusing on the process, our habits, we are working on our system every day. We are focusing on the immediate, without worrying too much about the future, all the programming languages we don't know, or how much time is left to become a programmer. By focusing on the day-to-day tasks, we can diminish our anxiety. If we keep applying our system day in and day out, we are going to achieve our goal of becoming a programmer. I will leave in the comments an article that talks about this in further detail. Finishing with this video, I want to remind you that this is just a guide to what I consider to be the best way to set the right mindset and attitude to become a software developer. Which one of these concepts resonated the most with you? Leave it in the comments so we can see which ones are the favorite picks. In the next video, I'm going to discuss the second part of these concepts, so you may want to subscribe to get a notification when the video is ready. See you next time.